So a couple of months ago, a lead singer of a band urinated on somebody on stage at a death metal concert, which sounds crazy. I know. A couple of months ago? Luke, we don't give a frick about what happened a few months ago. This is the internet. It needs to be happening now. If I wanted to know what was happening a few months ago, I'd go to a museum. Or wherever it is they put that shit. Okay, yes, I was going to do this video a lot sooner, but then I got COVID, and then it was Christmas, and then New Year's, and then, now here we are. So let me tell you this ancient tale of internet history that happened way, way, way back a few months ago. Anyway, the lead singer of Brass Against pissed on a guy's face live on stage, which I think is pretty crazy. But that being said, it's not the least death metal thing I've ever heard of. I mean, I'm not saying when you hear death metal, you think golden showers, but it definitely isn't warm hugs, fuzzy feelings, and hot chocolate on a cold day. It's some yelling, anger, angst, drugs, and apparently some piss. But the piss in itself is not the whole story. There is more to it than that, and thankfully it doesn't involve R. Kelly. No. And what made this story hilarious to me is that a Karen took her 16-year-old son to watch this particular gig, and then she called 911. I'm not kidding. She called emergency services. Still not making this up. I mean, yeah, I'm sure watching someone urinate on someone else might be disturbing if it's not what you were expecting to see that day, but it's not a fucking emergency. You could just close your eyes. There. And then it stops being an emergency. And I don't know what she wanted the police to do. I mean, send the SWAT team to seal her vagina shut or something? Or are there police units I'm not aware of that deal specifically with people pissing where they shouldn't? The police, perhaps, or Body Patrol, dealing with the code number 1. But seriously, can you imagine how embarrassing this must have been for the 16-year-old? I mean, they couldn't have been thrilled to begin with that mummy insisted on coming with them to a death metal concert. Oh, my mum, she rages against the machine so hard. But then when mummy sees what you're basically fucking into, she flips out and calls the police. I mean, not just the police, but emergency services. It's that fucking problematic. You sick fuck. Is this what you wanted me to come and see? This is what you're basically into? You want like people pissing on people's faces? You're grounded. You're not going out again. Hello? Yeah, is that the police? Yeah, this is an emergency. My son's taste in music is fucking tragic. Can you get down here with a One Direction album ASAP? I mean, in fairness, it was probably a good thing she called 911 because her kid probably died of embarrassment. The artist in question pissing on stage was called Sophia Urista, which is just incredible. Of all the people, this is like something out of a comic book. Urista sounds like barista, but for urine. No, bro, that's not just instant urine, that's gourmet shit. That's a North American blend of an exclusive diet of Mountain Dew and asparagus. Are you getting those aromas? I'm just saying, it's a funny coincidence. Maybe you should keep an eye on this person because, that is Sophia Urista. There's a superhero, if there's a comic book, if there's a urine-based comic book, Sophia Urista is the Clark Kent of that superhero. The general outrage afterwards forced Sophia Urista to issue an apology, and she was banned from the venue, which is just kind of dumb, don't you think? I mean, yes, pissing on someone's face is probably too far. Sure, you might well be right in thinking that, but my view on it is such. People outside of the scene shouldn't get to decide what's okay inside the scene. The only people who complained were this lady who isn't a death metal fan and a bunch of media outlets desperate for clickbait content. And as far as I can tell or have read, no one that enjoys death metal gave a fuck. Least of all the guy who got pissed on. I get that's a pretty hardcore thing to see, but you went to a death metal concert. Perhaps you should have Googled what the fuck happens at these things. I mean, Iggy Pop has gotten shit-ass drunk on stage and passed out on broken glass and his own sick, and continued his set covered in his own blood and sick. The artists in this space are renowned for pushing boundaries. And it also just seems a smidge sexist that such a big deal was made out of this because a woman was doing it. I mean, has anyone ever asked Marilyn Manson to apologize for half the shit he's ever done before? I mean, maybe they have. I couldn't be bothered to Google it, but it does feel a little bit like as soon as a woman pissed on a man's face, Karens are declaring it a fucking emergency and calling 911 faster than you can say Urista. And now she's been banned from the venue. Now, this may not happen, but I wonder if in the future, artists at that venue will be, getting creative, pushing the boundaries, thinking of dropping a deuce on stage, but then, they'll have to think twice. I might get banned or something. And ultimately, I think that's a bit of a crappy environment to put your artists in. Just my view. just my view. Obviously, they're entitled to ban whoever they want. I just don't think that's a very good thing for a rock concert to do. Anyway, what have we learned here? Nothing. Pretty sure we learned nothing. Always go to the bathroom, maybe. Listen to your body.